Growing up as a kid, I went to summer camp, Evangelical Christian summer camp, for a month every summer for 10 summers in a row. And it was exactly every stereotype you're thinking about right now. But I loved it. I was not evangelical Christian. I grew up Catholic, so it was kind of weird that I went there in the first place, but it had turned me into a freakishly religious kid, and I was obsessed with the idea of being a better Christian than everyone else around me. They had this award at the end of camp every year called the I'm Third Award, which meant that you put God first, others second, and I'm third. So essentially it was who was the most holy and the most selfless, and I wanted to win that goddamn award so bad. So because it's like evangelical Christians, like the main tenet of holiness is purity. And so they're obsessed with purity. All forms of touching the opposite sex were off limits at camp. You could only give a 3-second side hug. So like only the side of you could touch their side, none of the good stuff in the front. So we just bought this whole like purity package, like hook, line, and sinker. I'm like 14 years old this one summer. I'm trying to be the best Christian, the most pure, the most selfless. And this girl comes along. She's like popular and pretty, so everyone listens to her. And she tells the entire camp that she's gonna wait until her wedding day to have the first kiss of her life. Okay, do you understand that? Like, she's up the ante. We've all signed a purity pledge, but she's not gonna kiss anyone until at the altar on her wedding day. So now this purity has become competitive. And everyone else starts pledging that they're gonna do the same thing. And like, how am I gonna win this award if I don't do the same thing, right? Well, there's a problem, and his name is Seth. So we've been camp boyfriend, girlfriend for like 3 summers now. I'm not sure he had much to do with that. I just saw a very timid 12-year-old boy who was like blonde and could do a backflip, and I was just like, mine. We're dating now. But here we were 3 years later, and we'd been spending the entire past year on AOL Instant Messenger, talking every day, plotting how we were gonna have our first kiss at camp that summer. So here's how we were gonna do it. Once a summer, they take you to a water park, and if our cabins could go on the same day, then one of those slides was for a 2-person inner tube. And if we could get in the same inner tube, then a few seconds of that ride were enclosed. So we were gonna kiss. It was gonna be our first kiss as a couple, his first kiss of his entire life, no pressure. We did not factor in how fast water slides are. So the minute or the second I turn around to kiss him, we both fall out of the tube, but he is still like coming in hot for these lips, okay? So he bites my upper lip, draws blood. Not romantic, but definite lip contact, so we counted it as a first kiss. So a week goes by, I hear nothing, and then I hear over the whole camp intercom, Alyssa Ladd come to the camp office, and I had to meet with the camp disciplinarian, who, by the way, is like 23 years old, but it was very scary at the time. And I'm freaking out because I want to win this award. I've never been in trouble. I'm a goody two-shoes. But I get there, and he's nowhere to be seen. So I'm like, they don't know about this kiss. And she's like, we know about you and Seth. And I was like, don't panic. Just like, reveal nothing. She will tell you what she knows. Because that was a good freaking plan. There's no way anyone saw us on that water slide. But more importantly, if they had, she would not have waited a week to like bust my ass for that. So I just said to her, well, if we're both in trouble, where's Seth? And she says, oh, well, Seth's not in trouble because it's the girl who makes the boy stumble on his walk with the Lord. I was like, okay, that sounds about right. And of course, she didn't know about the water slide. I was in trouble because a counselor had seen Seth and I holding hands the night before and turned us in. She told me that holding hands with Seth was not saving myself from my future husband. And if we were caught fraternizing again, I alone would be in trouble, and I would go to the Hilton, which is the ironic name for the tent in the woods where you went if you were bad. And you ran up and down hills and hosed out trash cans and worked in the kitchen. And I was like pretty sure God didn't have a problem with me holding hands, but I really didn't want to go to the Hilton. So Seth and I broke up. Publicly. I never did win the I'm Third award, but Seth and I kissed like 3 more times at camp and I never got caught.